Shout out to Chad Charles Campbell, who was out singing in front of our studios with rollerblades and a guitar today, spreading positivity.
And no shirt.
And no shirt.
And a Mexican wrestling mask. Oh, my gosh.
I just posted to Facebook. We love the positivity. We do not condone rollerblading in the middle of the street with no shirt
and
on.
we had no idea this was happening until we saw the video.
Head over to the Facebook page.
Can't believe that all my dreams are coming true. If this good mood could just rub off on you. Finally doing all the things I'm meant to do. Pinch me. Pinch me. Pinch me, yeah. Pinch me. If I can make you smile with all my Friday songs, we can plan to see who's getting photobombs. We can help someone else laugh along. Pinch me.
Welcome to the RightArm Podcast, Friday songs and photobombs. It's been a long time coming. I guess I'll just get started and get right to it. I've had a dream, and my dream is to start a podcast to spread positivity. I think we all need to be better. We all need to do better. And my mission is to spread positivity. The more I think about it, the more I get inspired with myself to follow through with my dreams and get this done. I've been, I think about it steady. I've started my own company, RightArm Productions. I started this dream, and all my friends and family have been starting to pitch in to help me with this dream. And my motto is just to be better and do better. And I want to inspire other people to do the same. So it could be as easy as paying it forward or getting somebody's meal at a Tim Hortons drive-thru to just trying to put a smile on somebody else's face, trying to make them laugh, trying to play them a song, play them some music, and brighten their day a little bit, because there's too much negativity in the world, too much negativity out there. I've been thinking a lot lately about how I want to be remembered, how I want my kids to remember me. And I want to talk about this in detail, and I want to talk to different people who do different things to promote positivity themselves. I want to talk, bring them in, talk to them, and it's going to catch on. And people are going to start to see my brand, my three right arms, and they're going to associate it with positivity. They're going to associate it with smiling, and they're going to associate it with, hey, RightArm.com. So I guess it's about time now that I introduced my co-host, my good friend Jonesy, friend and fan from the CH News. Yeah. So I've been good friends here with Jonesy for a while, and we share common goals on positivity, and I know it's our destiny to do this podcast together. We play off each other well, and she's helped me get to where I am right now, actually. She's been a great friend and helped me with my website, promoting my positivity already, and helped me get these cardboard cutouts, life-size cardboard cutouts ordered.
You're going to blame that on me?
No, but I guess that's all me. A little bit of you, though. She lights the fire under my rear end to do the silly things I've been doing. And we have some pretty good laughs, I'd say.
I'm super excited to be part of this.
Yeah.
It's going to be epic.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, to get started here, I guess I'll talk a little bit about myself to start with.
Try not to break your neck right off the front, okay?
I'm going to break my own neck, sucking myself here right away.
Like a puppy times.
Yeah. Is that you choking on it? Is that what that was? For real?
Obviously.
Wow.
Toot, toot. I guess performing in public has always been an issue for me, and even speaking in public. So this has all been a new challenge for me to perform and sing and do this in front of people. So it's almost like therapy to me. So anyways, I think this podcast is going to work well because of a lot of good friends we have, the good network of friends, and we're going to have a lot of good stories to tell. I'm ready.
I'll break your neck for you here.
Yeah, that would be great. I guess I'll talk about my premonition that I had going back when Broadway Jimmy Hayes from the podcast Missing Curfew passed away. I had a bit of a premonition. I woke up, had a bit of a cry and a bit of a sweat, just realizing what I want to do with my life, and realizing the impact that this guy had on his audience and on people around him. And I compared myself to him in a lot of ways, actually, how this guy liked to help people. And I feel that we're similar in a lot of ways. And the only difference is that I'm still here and that I can still make a difference the way that he did. And so that's what I'm going to do and continue to do with my podcast. But mine's going to be a little bit different. It's going to incorporate music. It's going to incorporate the silly gags that we've been doing with Pedro, silly Pedro. And like I said, everything positive. So,
And we'll get into a lot more detail about those Friday songs, this Friday song segment, and the positive Pedro segment too, and what you can expect from those.
yeah,
I think you should also introduce Roby and talk about.
definitely. Yeah. A big part of this podcast, lately getting it going, my good friend Jason Robson is part of this podcast. He's going to keep things in check, keep things going, and keep things rolling. Speaking of getting things rolling, it's time we get to our first sponsor of the podcast, CT Campbell Wealth Management. Have you ever looked into investing a tax-free savings account? What a great way to save money and not pay tax on what you make. This year, 2022, you're allowed a $6,000 contribution, and if you haven't contributed anything yet, your current lifetime contribution room is $81,500. Tanya Frank of CT Campbell Wealth Management would be happy to make an appointment with you to discuss your options for a high return tax-free benefit. She's also specialized in RESPs and RRSPs. I know I've set up an education plan for my kids for when they go to school, so it's a good thing to do to set the kids up for the future. So get a hold of my sister for a consultation. Her phone number is 905-714-5513. Or you can email her at tfrank, TFRANKE at campbellwealth.ca. Now back to the podcast. I've been carrying this card around in my wallet for quite some time, and I'll read it to you right now, actually. It's got my name on it. It says Chad Charles Campbell, and it says, my goal is to create a podcast that will inspire people. And on the other side, it says, and it's laminated, concentrate on my goal every day. I will become what I think about. My mind can conceive, and my heart can believe I can achieve. Imagine, let my mind soar, act as if it is impossible to fail. So I've been carrying that around with me until today, I guess, when we're finally getting this thing started. And I did. I woke up out of a dead sleep, out of a sweat, and I had a little cry. And I thought about how I wanted to do more with this life, and that I wanted to touch more people, and I wanted to make a difference in this world. I wanted to leave a legacy for my kids to remember me by, and I wanted to do better. So from that point on, I've set my goal out to start a podcast for positivity, where I can inspire people with my Friday songs and my Photobombs, silly stories with my wrestling mask. So, and that's been my dream. It seems like, I guess, about 6 months ago, I put the wheels in motion to change my life. I guess when I had this inspiration for the podcast, I put the wheels in motion to do every single thing that I thought about doing. Every thought that I had, from getting a tattoo on my arm to starting a website, RightArm Productions, buying my name, RightArm Productions, online, figuring out how to buy a business. Went to the Royal Bank, set up a bank account. I just didn't talk about it. I did it. And Cheryl here helped me along the way. So
you're pretty much following your dreams.
Following my dreams, doing everything
that comes to mind, you're doing no matter what.
No matter what. At 47 years old, it's not too late. Like, what are you waiting for? Get out there and do it. And
you're giving yourself a swift kick in the ass.
Yeah. What do you like? There's one life. What are you wasting it for? And why not smile while you're doing it? So I'm gonna put a wrestling mask on and make you laugh while I'm doing it. So
there's the 5-second rule that we talked about too, where you have an idea, you have a thought, or you want to do something, you have to act on it within 5 seconds, right? So it's either whether it be writing it down that you're going to do it, calling someone to talk about it, or if it's something you can do in the moment, you do it. But it's in that 5 seconds. Yeah.
Write it down. Same in songwriting. The other thing I love to do to make myself feel better. If I don't write it down, that's gone. You're not going to remember it. You're not going to do it.
Mm-hmm. So. And you started making minute clips.
Yeah, I've got so many songs. It's hard to get them out there. It's hard to figure out which ones to get produced. So I thought I'm going to go to my extensive bank of songs and go back even a few years and start putting out minute clips and see which ones catch on social media, which ones are catchier than others. And it's been actually kind of interesting to see which ones catch on and start using promotions too. We just started to experiment with different things to try and get my songs out there more. So it's been interesting.
Which is a whole that's basically
that's a whole other podcast.
It really is. The challenges of self-promotion and getting your messages out there and your songs. It has been a challenge. And we hit roadblock after roadblock.
Yeah. Cheryl's helped me with a lot of stuff actually with the promotions. And yeah, I mean, even from building the logo, like, I mean, I could even go back and talk about how much help I've had with the 3 right arms. I mean, Cheryl and I mean, we brainstormed on the 3 right arms for a few days, went back and forth how I was going to arrange the right arm for my logo. And then we bounced it back and forth and ended up sending it to my cousin, Melinda Rubery, who finalized the design and got it back to us. And yeah, that's where it came in. And then even after that, my good friend Jason Danis took it from there and made an image for me, a JPEG format, so that we could do the logo for Facebook and social media and make t-shirts or whatever we want to do. So he spent a lot of time helping us with that as well, Jason Danis.
And between the two of them, they basically made your vision.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm sure I annoyed them with taking out lines and can you draw it like this? And yeah, so it's been really good actually having the help. Not only that, I mean, all the people that have been reaching out with their support and seeing my dreams come true here with the podcast and the music and everything. It's just been so amazing and overwhelming. And
so you got the logo and then you said, okay, well, what are we going to do with this? Let's put it onto some merch and get some sweatshirts and t-shirts made.
Some flags, some business cards, which actually look pretty darn good, I think, with the actual scan code on them that go right to Pedro's junk. I mean, my website, or just scan my junk to see what we're up to. So, and
somebody reached out to you. A friend of yours reached out to say, hey, I can put that on a sweatshirt for you, or
my friend Natalie actually reached out, and Natalie Perret reached out and put the logo on my first hoodie, which was pretty amazing, with the Chad Campbell down the sleeve. And yeah, so we have yet to go back and make some more stuff, but we still plan to get more merch out there for sure. Even with the social media posts and the silly things, hey, I think it would be funny to get a life-size cutout of myself. or it would be really funny to get 3. So let's just get 3. Best decision ever. I've had so much fun. We've had so much fun with these stupid cutouts. The kids have had fun. The laughs, the looks. You know what? It just makes people smile. That's all there is to it.
I think we're in need of maybe either some surgeries or maybe even investing in a
Pedro's
couple more.
the right arm is in rough shape.
Yeah, some broken necks, some broken arms.
Yeah,
but
they've been broken necks. Yeah,
well used. Yeah.
You know what else I should talk about is my friend Mike Miner as well. I just want to give him a shout out. When I was getting all this started, he recommended listening to a podcast, or actually, I don't know if it's a podcast, but it's a little piece by Earl Nightingale called The Strangest Secret. And it's about a half an hour long. But if you ever have a chance to listen to this, I've listened to it about 4 or 5 times now already, at least. It's just really inspiring. And it talks about the 1% and just about succeeding and just doing the things that you should be doing in life. And
fake it till you make it. That's been one of our mottos.
Yes, absolutely. I wholeheartedly.
Yeah, like who has 3 life-size cardboard
I'm
cutouts?
finding out nobody has this.
But we're faking that we're important enough to do this.
Like we went to the Leafs fan zone, which I was tossed out of. We were tossed out of. But the first thing they said was, "Sir, that big cutout, it's too big. I don't think you're going to get in." And Jonesy here says, "No. They said, the media people said that we have to be as close to the cameras as possible. So can you show us where that is?" And she went, "Oh, okay." And then as we walked by, you looked at me like, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh, that worked." So the next security guy, I tried Jonesy's line, and it worked. They just kept hushing us in.
Every layer of security.
They just kept hushing us in for me to get tossed out.
But before you got tossed out, Pedro became very popular.
There must have been 100 cameo pictures with this life-size cardboard cutout where people were scanning the junk to find out what we're all about. And I couldn't get over the smiles when people were looking over, like at us lifting it up. They were confused, I think, too, but they were happy. They were a happy confused.
They warmed up to him.
Happy confused. Yeah. That'll be the name of our podcast.
There you go. I love it. Happy confused. Dazed and confused. Hey, that goes right back to Matthew McConaughey.
Right arm.
That's right.
Speaking of right arm. RightArm Productions is happy to announce that Chad Charles Campbell will be entertaining on Friday, June 24th, 7 o'clock at the Steel and Clover in Port Colborne, Ontario. I'm happy to announce this is my first live gig, and I'm really excited, actually. So if anyone can come out and attend the event live and see this performance, I'd be honored. So come on out, see the Pedros, enjoy the event. Special guests, Michael Hansen, plan to come out and play a few songs. KC is going to blow the doors off with a few of her songs. And a lot of the Tweedy family hopefully will get up and do a few songs with me. So come on out, check it out at the Steel and Clover. The Steel and Clover, Public House, Port Colborne. June 24th, 7 o'clock. See you there. Also, stay tuned. I've actually been in the studio to record a few more songs. So Chad Charles Campbell will be releasing 3 more singles, starting with That's What She Said. I'll be releasing I Think He Knew, followed up with I Think I'm in Love. So excited to say that we've got 4 songs underway so far, and I plan to record an album before the end of the year. So stay tuned for all the new releases coming up through the social media. Stay tuned to RightArm.com and RightArm Productions, so to hear all the new news. Now back to the podcast. I just want to tell you right from the beginning what to expect, I guess, from this podcast. We're going to have different segments. We're going to have different guests coming on the podcast all the time. And I want to give some insight into all the Friday songs that I've been starting to do. For the past 2 years, I guess, I've been doing the Friday songs for positivity. I want to talk about the steps that I've taken to get to where I am today, the steps behind getting the podcast started, starting my own brand, my RightArm.com, the website, the logo, everything from that's got me to the point where I am now. The catchphrase, building an audience, building myself a bank of songs that I've written.
Along the same lines, I know you're not going to talk about this. You're not going to, feel comfortable kind of tooting your own horn, but the passion for music that you have is pretty incredible. But along with that, the talent you have for songwriting, and I'm not the only one who sees this. You have been validated by Michael Hansen, right?
Yeah.
About your musical, your talent in singing, but especially songwriting as well. I forget the exact words or how he.
I think he called me a hook writer.
What does that mean? Like,
I just think that the way I look at it when I'm writing songs is I want it to be catchy, and I want, if something sticks in my head where it sings in my head and it won't stop, that means that it's good in my mind. So what happens is, for me, is I put the music down and I record it, and then the words go on after. So if something rings in my head, the music, and it won't get out, it needs to be made a song. And that's what I do. And I seem to think that my songs are getting catchier in my mind. And when I see people tapping their foot and catching along and saying, "Hey, that's really good," it sticks in my head. It's like, oh yeah. So it's happening to other people too. And it's to hear my record producers say the same things as, "Oh, that's really catchy," or other people when I play it, or people singing it. I mean, it's just amazing. It's an amazing feeling. And I start to hear things in my head too, different melodies and things that are beyond my capabilities, even guitar playing or bass lines or what should go there. And I'd be I can say with my voice, this has to be here. And I can tell my record producer with my voice how the bass should go, but I can't play bass, and I actually can't read a lick of music either.
Actually, great segue into some of the future podcasts that you're looking at having. So one of them would be the progression of music, basically how it starts right through to a professionally produced song. And
definitely. Michael Hansen, actually, formerly of Glass Tiger, drummer of Glass Tiger, record producer, he agreed to be on the podcast and actually talk about song production and all his ventures and stuff and times in Glass Tiger or whatever. He's open to it. So I think will be a very interesting podcast all on its own, just to talk about what would you do to get a song produced if you're a songwriter. Michael Hansen actually has people in to co-write with or give you ideas to get a song out there. I mean, it's not cheap because it's definitely a talent. I mean, just to see what that guy does. Magic Mike. He knows what he's doing. So, but it's fun, and it's something we can talk about on future podcasts.
if we're looking at the podcast, and if this is the introductory podcast, our very first podcast, what kind of things can your listeners expect from this podcast every week? So you have your Friday songs. That's going to be one segment where you highlight a song, or you're basically going to do a live version of your Friday songs on the podcast. Yeah,
for sure. That's going to be one of the spotlights. That's going to be one of the spotlights of the podcast for sure.
So tell people about the Friday songs.
So every Friday, I post on my social media, Chad Charles Campbell, my Friday song, and I start out by saying Happy Friday. And I record a song on my social media, usually with family and friends, and actually not usually, but I try to mix it up with different family and friends, different collaborations, different styles of music, and my original music too. And it's become kind of a thing, I guess. I feel that each Friday, each post I do, there's so much involved with that Friday song, from where we're going to record it, to, you know, where we're going to put the camera, who's going to hold it, how many takes it took, how many laughs, how many outtakes. I want to talk about all of it because just the people involved we talk about it for weeks after. And I think we should share it with everybody and get some footage and talk about those Friday songs because there's so many good stories behind it and so many laughs.
Well, and the few bloopers you did post, you said you got more shares and likes on views on those than you did on some of your
on the screw ups.
Songs,
And it's funny, and you know, I appreciate so much of the feedback I get from the songs that every week people chime in to tell me or click a like on it. And then, you know, you run into people that you haven't seen in a while and they end up telling you that they've enjoyed them. And it's hard to believe that, you know, everyone's tuning into these songs. So it's cheering people up. And the countless people that have got a hold of me to say, listen, I love tuning into your songs to watch you play with your mom and sing with your mom. And I've picked up my guitar it's inspired me to pick up my guitar and play music again, or play my drums, or sing some more, or, you know, write music themselves. So I got spotlighted on CH News for my positivity project. And it's taken it went to the next level, which has led to, I guess, my first recording song last Christmas with my niece, Hometown Christmas. I got to record one of my original songs, and I offered up my song for my niece to record, and I ended up getting on board with the project and recording my first song.
And that's, again, another topic for another podcast.
Any negative feedback or anything that has come about with this yet?
For the Friday songs?
For the Friday songs?
For anything that you
Any negative? You know what? I don't think, not really. No, I haven't. Like, I mean, even the places that I've taken my life-size shirtless cutouts into.
probably just some terrible looks at something.
Honestly, not even looks. Everybody just looks at me like I work there, like I'm setting something up. Like, what is this? This must be for some event that we're just going to let them go.
So basically, everything that you do isn't run past anybody. It's just
No,
for the moment you thought you had the idea. With
Yeah,
just
pretty
like your
much.
positivity, right?
Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Yeah.
That's
So
kind of
you have no 5-second filter then?
No.
There should be filters? I'm
No,
not
we were talking
understanding.
about the 5-second rule.
I know.
Your 5 second is gone.
Oh, with Pedro, there's no 5 seconds. I literally,
Sky's the limit.
and it's, again, I used to be a shyer person, so it's almost like when I put that mask on, it's not me. Alter ego. So
Okay, so
I'm in and out.
you've got to tell. So some people say you hear Pedro on the here, they don't have no clue what we're talking about here. So
Right, so
the other segment, another segment on this podcast, other than your Friday songs, is your Photobombs or your Pedro segment. So what's that going to look like?
So I own a wrestling mask that I got in Mexico on vacation for my cousin Welland's wedding. And ever since I got the mask, I've used it to cheer people up in social events. And
How long ago was this?
I'd say about 20 years ago. So at the time when Pedro first came out, Mexico, Pedro was a popular name, so I went with Pedro. I put my ex-wife's bikini underwear on, tied a towel around my neck, and I decided to pose down the balcony in front of the water aerobics going on at the pool resort at the time. So Pedro Smucho was born.
I believe there's a photo of that on your website.
There will be.
So
yes.
I actually, no, there's no will be. It is there now. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
So you might want to check that out.
That was, and actually I think it was Uncle Todd, Tweety, and Dave Dick were both in the room giggling behind while I was literally posing down the water aerobics. Everyone's going, what is going on right now? And ever since that reaction, that's what I go for, is people to go, what is going on? What? You're not going to believe what I seen today. But it cheered me up. It made me smile. And it was a little bit weird, but...
That is, there are several videos with that same reaction. And that you can hear it in the background. Can somebody say something? What is going?
Say something.
What is going on?
What's going on right now?
Pretty much got the cricket sound.
Yeah. When I
many
did
times.
the skate around the ice at my kid's game, that I did not ask for. And when
but
I
that's
heard
not the first
crickets,
time you've done
that
skate.
no, but
Let's get serious.
yes,
children
you've done
involved,
it
maybe.
with me, yes,
Yeah, with
with children involved. But that was the quietest because I've never done that in front of my kids' sports teams before. And everybody was just kind of like, "What is going on?" Even the kids, but people caught on right away, and it became quite a thing for my kids' hockey team. They carried my cutout around the ice, took turns, and loved having their turn and being part of it, or wear a cape around so that it was flailing in warm-ups. And they'd put the Pedro in the penalty box, and it brought them good luck, and they'd usually win.
And when Pedro wasn't there,
They didn't.
they did. They requested it. Were you getting calls
Where
5
were
minutes
you?
before the
Yeah.
game? Where is he?
Bring in Pedro. We need him. They'd celebrate. They put a medal around his neck after they won the cardboard cutout.
I think there's video
And they
footage
would
of
ask,
that as well.
Are you, did you bring your mask, Mr. Campbell? Are you going to, is Pedro coming tonight?
So now are all these videos archived, or like do you have a place where
There is so many older videos too that I have yet to show that I'm sure will surface once this podcast is cooking.
They
I
cycle.
found some stuff from back with Jonas that we had that I forgot
geez.
where I'm wiping out, trying to do the old chair teeter into the worm. That
we
was my
almost died
thing.
that day?
Back in the day,
It was cracking. The ice was cracking while you were
that
out there.
day,
And I'm
yeah,
like, get off the
when I was
ice.
on the ice. But do you remember back when you used to be, Roby here would be working the bar, bouncing, being the doorman, and all he would do, I'd have a wrestling mask in my sweater pocket, and he'd look over at me and just glare at me, and you'd kick the chair out to the edge of the dance floor so that it was ready for me.
do the chair walk.
And I just nod at him like, I got it. I'd chair walk it
into the
slowly,
worm.
like very slowly, down into the worm. And then to some really ridiculous dance that usually lasted about 10 seconds till I darted out and then came back and said, "What did I miss?"
Stick and move, Campbell.
Stick and move, baby. Yeah, Campbell flush.
Okay, so Paige, so we have. You're asking about where those videos are, and yes, we
Yes,
have
yeah,
many
you
archives
know.
that will be cycling through
Right.
RightArm.com.
And since we agreed on this podcast and talked about we're going to be having Pedro as one of the segments, we've started up social media accounts. RightArm Productions and RightArm are both TikToks. And
Can you say that in a Matthew McConaughey?
RightArm.com.
That's how it all started. That's exactly
Actually,
how it
that
all
is a
started.
story in itself. When we started, actually, to go back even further, my cousin Welland and I used to have a thing where we'd say, instead of right on, I'm sure a lot of people have done it, we say right arm. And then when I tried to buy the website, rightarm.com, some arm wrestler guy had taken it. So I took the Matthew McConaughey approach. Cheryl and I were talking, and I thought, how about I got it? It's Matthew McConaughey. Right arm. It was $60 to buy the name for 5 years, and then they send you a renewal after 5 years. So RightArm Productions is a legit name. And then the last thing I think we were doing was trying to get an HST number for the business so we could buy promotions online for the podcast when it comes out.
There's been roadblock after okay, well, here's a roadblock. We need an
Where's
HST
my
number to
visa?
advertise on Spotify. Well, how do we do that? All right, well, let's go figure it out. Where you've got the sole proprietorship. Well, you don't need an HST number until it's just been one constant
One roadblock after
little
another.
challenge, but
We just waited out. And next step, what do we got to do next?
Only way to move is forward, right?
That's right. And then with the social media too, it's like, well, let's start putting all these Pedro videos out and just doing stupid, silly stuff to promote it in that way. So every little video that Cheryl throws at me, I just...
Oh yes, we had one time where because you right from the get-go, I thrive under
I'm ready.
under pressure. I accept all challenges. You name it, I'll do it. And we were sitting in the McDonald's parking lot in Port Coburn. Was it Port Coburn somewhere?
Might have been.
And there was a police officer, and there was a scenario where I was like, "This is it. You said you'd do anything."
I would, but for something like that, I will say I like to plan a little better because you're not going to get that opportunity. That was it. You're not going to get that opportunity you will get that opportunity with the police officer again, but I think you have to think about that one a little more.
You gotta live in the moment.
Well,
But
I'm
Your
good.
whole thing is living in the moment.
No.
Now you're backpedaling it.
No.
That's what I said.
but-
I jumped.
I'm not wasting that opportunity if I'm getting in cuffs. Yeah, it has to be right. It has to be right. In my mind, it has to be right. If you just throw me in to the lions like that, I have to prepare a little bit in my own mind.
But you have not turned down a challenge since. Not one single challenge, no matter what I've thrown at you.
Yeah.
So there's something like
Yeah.
yes, you have to be prepared to a certain degree, but you're quite willing to jump in
Definitely.
whether the water's warm or cold.
Something to be said right there is you gotta live life to the fullest. Yeah. And you know what? When you sit back at the end of the day and people say, you're not gonna believe what I seen today, or you make 2 or 3 people smile. I mean, I got booed at the Raptors game.
Oh my gosh. That footage will be on rightarm.com for you to see.
I got a couple right arms though, and a couple woohoos.
And smiles and laughs.
Smiles and laughs.
Yeah.
And the boo made me laugh so hard, but yeah. Anyways.
The part that got me was the guy sticking his foot out.
Oh yeah.
Like, who's that?
It was a woman.
One party pooper in the whole bunch, eh? It was a woman.
It was a woman. I think she was just stretching.
Looks like that man's choking that woman with his cape.
We might have to analyze the video.
Oh, we
Judges? No, she's kicking him.
We could have a poll. What do you think?
She was not very
Was
positive.
she looking to trip or was she just stretching?
I mean, the Raptors were winning even, and she was still angry and wanted to trip
Oh
me.
my goodness. You're going to have those.
She was pissy.
She didn't like my moves.
Patty. Pissy Patty.
Pissy Patty? Negative Nelly?
Yeah.
She was not, she was the,
Irene.
And you get those
Irene.
negative Nellies, like the best one still. I'm gonna say
The man on the street.
The man on the street. I was down on Lakeshore Brant Street in the median with my cardboard cutout and a shirt on. I had my right arm hoodie on, and I'm just trying to pump people up. And this man gave me the evilest glare that you've ever seen. Footage to be shown on Right Arm, on the Right Arm website.
he wanted nothing to do with you
Nothing to
helping
do
him
with
cross
it.
that street. No.
And-
Yeah, but do you think he went home and thought about it after?
Yeah, angry. He was.
Maybe he got home. Maybe
let
he
me
got
finish
home and
the
his whole
story.
demeanor changed, and you really did.
Well, he was looking at
Are
me.
you
like-
looking for the positive angle
Yeah,
here?
there you go.
Well, he looked at me and like, "What are you doing?" And then when the light turned, I jumped out with the cutout to stop
Your
traffic.
eyes are saying no, but you're...
No, oh no! Trust me, I tried because I went, "Don't worry, I got it, and I kept the cutout out, like I was blocking the traffic with the cutout, like I got this, go buddy, go! And I'm waving him behind me. He literally just stood there and just eyeballed me the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm
We
like,
do
no,
have
no, I got this, and he just stood there and he was so mad.
definitely the video
You
footage
thought I
to
was gonna
show.
get punched, yeah.
Well, it was going to be a light punch. He was quite
He was
old
a
and
little
fragile,
older, but he was a lot bigger than me.
Like, how old we talking here?
in the 70s, definitely.
Yeah. Like some people were coming around the block going, there needs to be more of you. Way to go.
Yeah.
And like people were like honking, like just for those few people that it made smile. Like that one lady went around the block to see if she saw what she thought she did.
She came around
Like,
again. Yeah.
way to go.
And there was a couple that,
And that
pulled
made
in
me-
the
I
window.
still think about that woman doing that, coming around to like get another glimpse and say, way to go. There needs to be more like you.
Yeah.
That was great.
And you've said all along, if it's one person's day that you make or change their, you talk about that story about you driving on the lakeshore and you saw that person doing something. I can't remember what it was even.
Yeah, I was driving and I was just in such a bad mood and upset and chewing on glass. And I looked over at this guy walking on the street and he just made a gesture with his hands and went, ah, and smiled at me, like broke my concentration. I'm like, what the hell? Is he like peekabooing me or something? But it broke my bad mood, this silly thing that this guy did. I'm like, oh, that guy I snapped out of it in that minute. And then it just made me think, like, to see something like that or someone doing something silly, it could be the little something that somebody needs that day because they're having a bad one. So that's all I think about is...
You sure that guy wasn't on medication?
No, he was in a good mood, but I didn't notice him until he was like he could have had something wrong with him for real. But it literally broke me out of my bad mood to see that guy being in such a good mood with whatever. He could have been on drugs, but hey, he's living life the way he needs to make himself smile. So yeah.
So that's what we can look forward to with Pedro. Some of these antics and your drive-through idea.
So I've got an idea, which people I think we should talk about actually on the first podcast, because it's going to be our first. It's going to be the first episode. The next episode we're going to talk about it because I've had an idea because I've sat at these long drive-through lines and people get in such bad moods, and I look in my rearview mirror and I see everybody scratching their head and just want their caffeine fix, and they're just in a bad mood till they get it. And I just think if some guy ran by in a wrestling mask and and a cape with no shirt on, it would just make me laugh. And I wouldn't be able to wait to tell everybody what I saw at the drive-thru. You're not going to believe it, but this guy was running around with no shirt. He did the worm. And my idea for this drive-thru shenanigan is I've written a song. It's called the DriveThru Song. And it's going to be catchy, and you're going to want to sing along. And I'm going to play it at the drive-thrus to cheer people up. And I'm going to post it on my social media so that people know the song. And when they see me come out with my guitar on the drive-thru loop, they're going to be entertained. I'm going to hand them my business card for RightArm Productions so they can go to my website. I'm going to give them a little gift card and buy their coffee. And I'm going to try to make their day a little bit better. And I'm going to play them a song. And there might be a few shenanigans with my cardboard cutouts as well. So,
of course,
So we're gonna film it all. We're gonna show all the footage on our website, and we're gonna start spreading the positivity.
I love it. That's it. And those are some things that during the Pedro segment you'll talk about what's coming up and where where Pedro might show up, or
we'll talk about the reactions we're getting. We'll post some of the stuff, and people will know where we're going to show up next. They'll know to look forward to it. And
you might have people going through hoping for long drive-through lines just in case Pedro shows up. You never know.
And not only that, it's going to catch on, and people are going to start doing similar things to make themselves smile and entertain themselves and keep the positivity rolling.
Well, that's it. You want that positivity to become contagious.
Yeah. Be better, do better.
As soon as I see you start picking up your guitar, the feeling I get, the joy I get from listening to you play, watching you play is just like everybody else who sees it. But don't start yet.
No, I'm not.
You're like a kid at Christmas with a smile. It's ridiculous.
It is.
I got my toy in my hand.
So we're gonna do some off-the-cuff ad-lib music now, or are you doing?
Sure.
Are you gonna do the any of the music that we're going to hear on the Pinch Me, or How Will You Be Remembered, or what's your thought right here? No thought.
I gotta piss.
Shut the door.
I feel like I gotta piss.
That's an aggressive piss right there.
I'll just.
What did we learn? What did we learn about our production manager today? He is an aggressive pisser.
Four fingers, but a solid stream.
Because it's got way better acoustics.
Acoustics in there. Is that why I sound good when I'm singing? Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
What are we playing here?
I figured out.
We were distracted.
I don't know. Maybe I'll just play an original song. Start it out.
Yeah.
I'll play one I know, I guess. This one's called Follow Through. I can play that one. Drove pretty far, played my guitar to impress the star and see who we are. Our hearts knew what to do, and sparks flew when I got close to you. Hard to ignore how little she wore, my emotions poured. She came close,
Towel to the door, she had my eyes for sure when she showed me her pretty toes. We were kissing, hugging, grinding, cuddling after those first sparks flew. Found I was missing, perfect kissing, I was in position. They met mine, then we followed through, yeah. Then we followed through. Moved with grace, touched her face, her eyes were raised. My mouth matched her pace. Her pretty voice made a choice, her panties moist. Sexy breathing noise. Hard to ignore how little she moved. My emotions pulled. She came close. Towel to the door, had my eyes for sure when she showed me her pretty toes. We were kissing, hugging, grinding, cuddling after those first sparks flew. Found I was missing, perfect kissing, I was in position to make mine. Then we followed through, yeah. Then we followed through. Don't wanna go through life's highs and lows alone. Rather have you right here on my shoulder. Whoa. We were kissing, hugging, grinding, cuddling after those first sparks flew. Found I was missing, perfect kissing, I was in position. Met mine. Then we followed through, yeah. Then we followed through, yeah. Then we followed through, yeah. What happened to my shaker? Oh, never mind.
More shaker, goddammit.
You need more cowbell.
I dropped the shaker.
Oh, is that what that was? You
Yes.
were on.
I'm just learning. Talking about stepping outside your comfort zone, right? This is definitely outside of my comfort zone, and I'm working on it.
Oh,
and,
shaker action.
And I was shaking, and then I dropped my shaker. So that's what
It
happened.
went from shaker drop to giggle fit.
Oh. I have not giggled
No.
once tonight. Well,
Jonesy's nickname is Giggle Fits because she likes to laugh a lot, and she often sends herself into giggle fits, and sometimes it's 10 minutes long. So Roby will have to take the headset away from her.
actually, there will be times
Is it loud or
where
like is it
No, it's just silent giggle fits.
There's a lot of silence. There's
Giggle
a lot of
fits.
you can't
Yeah.
breathe? Or...
yeah, I can't breathe.
It's-
Back hurts. Yeah, on the floor, usually in the fetal position. It's pretty
I'm
bad.
gonna have giggle fits soon.
Yeah. So, speaking of having a giggle fit or a good time, come on out to the annual Welland Rose Festival Parade. It's happening on Sunday, June 19th from 1 till 3 p.m. It's a public participation event, and the Port Colborne Operatic Society is going to have a float in the parade, which I'm going to be a part of, and I'm going to be part of the Mamma Mia singing and dancing and production on the float. They've obviously called in some heavy hitters for this production. On that note, the Port Colborne Operatic Society has an upcoming production of Cinderella. You can register online now. They're holding auditions in September for this production, and the shows are going to be held between February 17th and March 5th. So come on out for a good time and see some float fun with Mamma Mia. Another local event, Merrittville Speedway, Tuesday nights. You can check out Cameron Ohm racing his kart with the triple right arms on his car. I know we're going to be going to check out a few of his races, and he's already cooking out there. He's got 2 wins under his belt already. He's flying out there, and I can't wait to see him race, actually. I just want to mention about these kart races, Tuesday nights, that these next generation of kids, it gives them something to do, gets them on the track, keeps them out of trouble. There's a lot of time and work that goes into maintaining these toys that rip around the track at 90 kilometers per hour. Cameron's turning 15 next month, and he's in his 4th year racing, and he's cooking out there. He's fun to watch, so I can't wait to check it out. I know the Pedros are going to be out watching him on Tuesday nights at Merrittville Speedway, so come on out and check him out, root for him. I know I am. RightArm Productions is behind him all the way. Also, I wanted to mention Racing Jason Fontaine is also going to be donning the 3 right arms on his car this year, Sunday nights at Humberston Speedway. He's doing really well already, too. I know he started 9th last Sunday, and he ended up second place finish. He's doing really good, and his car looks sick. I just got a picture of it, and we're going to put it on our website, RightArm Productions. So check him out, follow him. Pedro's going to be at the track soon too, checking out Fonzie and checking out his races. So come out to Humberston Speedway, and also come out, check him out Saturday at Merrittville Speedway. Fonzie, racing Jason Fontaine. So now back to the podcast, where we have some other exciting things to look forward to. We're going to have giveaways. We're going to have more merch soon. Stuff to contest for people to win some stuff from RightArm Productions, from High 4. We're going to start to be at events in the summer, I think. We're going to start to put on shows for the podcast, for my music, for Chad Charles Campbell. And we're going to be traveling around doing different stuff, I think, for positivity.
And if you miss any of it live, you can always go to RightArm.com. And we try to post and keep that updated as often as possible. With it's hard to keep updated, to tell you the truth. There's so much going on. I feel like we're having to weed through some of the things and hold back.
Well, I know for one, I think we should definitely talk that we're going to highlight a podcast, the unfortunate situations like my friend Jay here, who lost his pinky finger, had an unfortunate accident at work. Learning to deal with something like that. Jay didn't sit around and cry about it. He decided to take the positivity route and make the best of the situation. And he made his brand. He created High 4 Foundation. I'm not sure exactly, but he's got a t-shirt now, and he's got a purpose, and he's part of RightArm Productions. And he decided not to sit around and cry about it, but make things better.
And I think every podcast at a very specific time, you can look forward to hearing Roby and Elizabeth.
So
some insightful things from him.
Every podcast at 4:20, on the nose of every podcast, Jay will be giving a inspirational, motivational quote, I guess, that he's going to read. It's going to be the High 4 salute at 4:20, so that everyone can fast forward to that point if they want to, but that's going to be a steady, tradition of every podcast. So, and every podcast, depending on what the podcast is going to be about, I think Roby's going to gear his motivational quote, I guess, going to be geared toward that episode. So we'll see.
You're showing me something as if I can read your chicken scratch.
I already got it written down.
Okay.
So we're preparing. It'll be at the 4:20 mark, obviously.
4:20 mark of every.
So if you hit this part,
yeah,
you've already heard.
You've gone too far.
Yeah.
You need to back up and hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
So in terms of the podcast, you talked about it being a family-friendly podcast to a certain degree. We're thinking PG-13.
Yeah, we're going to kind of teeter the mark and push the envelope, but try to keep it as tame as possible, but PG-13. Since I've got a 13-year-old and he'll probably be part of the podcast, we're going to try to keep it on the rails, I guess. as much as we can. We've got an idea for a podcast. When we grew up in Port Colborne, Ontario, we used to do what was called the West Street Crawl, where we used to hit every single bar on West Street, all the way across City Tavern, all the way to Sauve's Bar and Grill, Windjammer, the rest of them. We used to go all along Harbourfront. We used to hit every one. And our idea for the podcast it was Steve Miller's idea. We're going to hit all these bars in a West Street Crawl, and we're going to buy rounds for the locals. And we're going to see how many smiles we can put on people's faces on RightArm Productions. And we're going to try to get as much for social media to show our event so that it can inspire people to do this kind of thing themselves, to buy somebody around or someone less fortunate and try to make people smile. Heck, we'll bring a guitar with us even.
Free entertainment?
Free entertainment for each bar we stop in.
Love it. I'd love to see the progression from the first bar
Oh my
to the
God.
last bar.
I love
Let's
it.
see
We
how.
are getting it.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Yeah, we're gonna have a crew doing that for sure.
And the way the West Street Crawl used to
I'm not
work
drinking,
was you had to do a drink at each bar, right?
Until you're crawling.
Until you were crawling at the end. Yeah.
I'll have
So
a non-alcoholic. I'll be
okay,
fine. I'll be
you're
easy.
fine. We're gonna need somebody responsible, but Jonesy and I here are not by those rules. We're gonna be fall down drunk by the end.
Like,
no.
I've seen him fall down drunk. Like, I'm more interested in you. Like,
Oh,
am I gonna have to put you over my shoulder and
Giggle
put you in the
fits.
vehicle?
You may
the
have to.
handful of times I have been fall down drunk have been entertaining, to say the least. So this might be the sixth time.
Well, so this will be the inaugural West Street Crawl, and your first ever.
Yeah, I've never done a pub crawl.
Yeah.
Never.
Oh, you're gonna.
West Street Crawl's got kind of eased up a little bit, but we usually extend it now.
When we used to do it,
West
Port
to
Colborne
north
crawl.
to south to east.
we left a
crawl? Is
dent
that what's-
when we did it, and people knew we were there.
That was
We
when
had
there
a
was
very
12
charismatic
bars on that
crew,
street.
to say the least.
You'd
And
pick up people as you went.
somebody, oh yeah, people would join our crawl,
Stragglers
and because we usually know everybody in town anyways at these bars, and we play games like Sink the Ship, where we like drinking games where we drop a glass of draft in the middle of a pitcher of beer, and everybody would pour their beer into the glass, and whoever sank it had to reach in with their fingers, pull it out, drink it, and then drop the.
Sounds very COVID friendly.
Yeah. Since COVID, they haven't played a lot of Sink the Ship.
we don't play.
That's why you didn't want to lose, because you didn't want to stick your grimy fingers in to grab it and chug it.
Oh,
But Sink the Ship, we played a lot of that at the Belmont. I think you beat me, but I believe I beat you as well.
Well, we've had a good few run-ins with the chug company.
We have. We were both gifted. RightArm Productions will be a chugging crew.
it will be an open throat production. Is that what you're saying? Oh,
We're all
no.
gifted here.
I'm going to be chugging non-alcoholic, though. Disclaimer.
PG-13, I told you.
Come on, folks.
Mine into the gutter.
Yeah, cover your children's ears
Yeah.
for that one. So these are some of the things you can look forward to on the podcast, and
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. I think,
no thinking. We know.
yeah.
Not to break our own necks or anything, but
And I know I got a lot of going on with music and everything else, but I really do think that this was my calling, and I think that it's all going to link together. And I think I'm going to put material out there all the time to keep people smiling, whether it's music, whether it's the podcast, whether it's new songs, new shenanigans. It doesn't matter. We're just going to keep you smiling, and this podcast is just going to keep rolling. So dreams are coming true. Tune in next time to hear what we are up to on the Positivity Podcast. Friday songs and photobombs. Right on.
But Chad Charles Campbell, thanks for putting a smile on our face today. Check out the video. It's on our Facebook page. We'll get to